we took every Christmas present from under their Christmas tree and stacked it on top of the TV. And we was leaving, and her kids are in the car at this time. Both of the boys was in the car. And we went to walk out, and as we're walking out, I got this dog in my hand. I got this TV and all these presents stacked up. I can barely see over the presents. And, she's in front of me. And I hear, "Stop, I'm a Hamilton County Sheriff."
Oh, buddy.
And I was like, "What did he just say?" And he was like, "I'm a Hamilton County Sheriff." So I move. I realize it is a Hamilton County Sheriff and his family. They had came back home.
Oh, so it was a police officer's house.
Yeah, it was the sheriff's house.
Man.
Oh, my God.
I got his dog. I got his TV.
You got his Christmas
I got his Christmas
presents.
presents.
You're the Grinch right now.
And his children are looking at me. I'm looking at them. Not giving a at that point, because all I cared about was getting out of there.
Yeah.
I'm going to be dope sick soon. So I got to get out of here.
Let's do this.
Let's do it, man.
All right. We have Jen. What's your last name? Do you mind?
Garnes.
Garnes.
Stop it, man.
Yeah.
That's his last name.
That's my last name.
I investigated a little bit. And I was like, so
are we
maybe,
related? Let me find out we're related.
Well, I got married to this name, so.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, maybe you're married to my cousin.
From the Nasty Natty.
Yeah, Cincinnati.
Yes.
Came all the way from Cincinnati.
I knew a girl from Cincinnati, and she said it was drug infested.
Yeah.
Is that true?
It's actually really nice.
I like
It depends on where you
Cincinnati,
look and how you look at it. It's pretty drug infested.
Yeah, I was going to say. Okay.
It's pretty
I had a
drug
feeling you were
infested.
lying. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
good.
pretty drug infested.
Tell us about your life, right? How you grew up, where you grew up. Did it start out in Ohio, or did you move? Or
So I've
what
always
look
lived
like?
in Hamilton, Ohio. I
Okay.
don't say Hamilton because nobody knows where that
Nobody
is. I
knows
just
where
say
it is.
Cincinnati. So I grew up in Hamilton. I grew up in a Pentecostal family.
Oh.
My entire life, I was raised Pentecostal. Both of my parents were addicts, though.
What comes with Pentecostal?
Pentecostal comes with don't cut your hair, that's a sin. Don't wear jeans, that's a sin. Don't wear short sleeves, that's a sin. No tattoos. Literally breathing is almost a sin.
Really? I didn't know that.
Oh,
That
yeah.
sounds like Amish.
So you just can't do anything.
No, everything was
It's all
a
a
sin.
sin.
Everything
What's
was a
what's
sin.
up with the the hair I get? What's up with the jeans? Why can't you wear jeans?
I don't know. Like when I would go to my family reunions in Kentucky, my cousins would wear like ankle length jeans into the creek, and we would just have bikinis on, and I'm certain that they thought we was like demons, but
But bikinis are cool.
yeah, no, my mom. So I
Okay.
was raised. My parents were both addicts, so my life was a little different than everybody else's.
Loose Pentecostal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We was like the Easter of Pentecostals.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
The rest of my family was like go hard every Sunday, but my mom was like the Easter Pentecostal.
What are they doing? What are mom and dad doing?
My dad passed away. He
Okay.
overdosed in 2009, and my mom is still struggling with addiction.
What was their drug of choice?
Anything.
Anything?
Yeah, anything. My dad was a very bad alcoholic. He tried heroin for the first time, and it killed him. And my mom, she really doesn't have a
moly.
choice. Like, she just picks whatever.
His first try did it.
Yeah, we...
God.
I had just had my daughter, and she was like 2. We had a really, really bad fight. So my dad was a drug addict, and he said, "Hey, can I borrow one of your tires? The tire on my truck's flat." And I was like, "Sure, Dad," so you can go get a new tire. I look out my window, and my car was sitting on bricks. And I was like, "Where's my tires?" He took all my tires. So
Damn.
I go outside. We get into a big fight because he was drunk, and he leaves. And he was gone for like 6 hours. He only went down the alley to his friend's house. And I felt bad because I said like really terrible things to him about how he was a terrible dad and I hated him and I wish he'd die. And I went to his friend's house down the street because he hadn't came home. I felt like a piece of shit and I wanted to buy some weed, and that's the truth. So I went down there, and my dad was in the floor dead. And his friend was just cleaning up the drugs and doing nothing.
Wow.
Yeah,
He didn't call. Who called 911?
I did.
So the friend's just like sweeping around him.
Yeah, he said
basically.
that he was still breathing. He said that my dad was still breathing. He was just scared and hiding his drugs. So this was like 2009. Like, if you called the cops, you was still going to go to jail, even if he was
Yeah.
trying to help somebody.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
That's
And it was
true.
my dad's best friend. So.
And that's the last interaction you had with your dad was whatever you said to him.
Yeah, yeah.
Does that still eat you alive though?
Sometimes I'm a lot better with it now. It's been a while, and I've done a lot of therapy for that. But
Yeah.
sometimes it does.
I love how dad's like, "Can I borrow a tire?" and then just jacks the whole.
That was my
the whole
dad,
set.
though. Like, that's the type of things he did. I lived in the apartment above my dad, and, like, if I did something he didn't want me to, he would turn my utilities off. Like, my
Damn.
water, my lights, like, everything. Just, like, act accordingly, or you have no electric. So,
Holy
Wow.
taking my tires was pretty normal.
Yeah, that's
like,
pretty, and that's pretty like on the.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that was pretty normal.
I mean, yeah, it was...
You weren't surprised by
Sorry.
that behavior.
No,
Like,
no, but I was a new mom, and what if I have to take my daughter to the hospital, or, and now I have this car that's literally sitting on bricks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, starting off strong.
Holy shit. Okay. What about like before that? Like childhood, like when you were a kid?
I was raised Pentecostal again.
All right.
But, like, I'm just going to be honest. My family was the Pentecostal that looks Pentecostal on the surface. But behind the scenes, it was not always that way.
Yeah.
When I was a child, I was molested by one of my family members. And when I went to my mom and I told her, she told me basically I would ruin my family if I told anybody
Oh,
else.
mom.
So that just happened until I was 12 and just continued to happen. And my family said that it's a mental illness. Molesting kids is a mental illness.
Wait, so they just allowed it to continue to happen?
Yeah,
They knew,
yeah. But now as an adult, they say I never told them.
but because you were Pentecostal, they like wanted to hide it, so they just allowed it?
Yeah, basically.
Wow, man.
Because it would ruin our family. And, like, our family was, like, predominant. And, like, they was
Like
big in the
people knew who
churches.
you were.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and so we definitely couldn't have, like, a child molester in our family.
That's what I find fascinating too, with all these like super religious people.
What the
Like, on the surface, yeah, sounds good, but then you look into it a little bit, like,
Wow.
yeah, look, wearing jeans ain't looking so bad right now.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So what's like? Are you angry at your mom growing up for that, or is it just like this is normal? So
I think it became normal. Like, it was when I said it the first time, and it was like, hey, this will ruin our family. Also, if you tell your stepdad, like, he'll go to prison. He's going to kill somebody if you tell him what's happening. So I never told my stepdad either. So that was like this burden that I had to carry. And, I just kept, like, I thought it was normal. Like, okay, nobody cares, so this must be how.
how often is that occurring?
Probably minimal, like once a week.
I-
Minimal.
Really?
I was
So
really
it's a
hoping you weren't going to say that.
yeah,
Oh
it's
my
a
God.
pretty. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
God, girl.
So my mom and the family member, they did drugs together, so we was there frequently. So, and like, I'm not defending my mom, but she was also on drugs. So
Yeah.
it's like it didn't really click to her. I don't think that what was really happening.
And how does that work out? Like, if you're cool talking about it, like, is it happen like when your family's there? Does he do like the creep in the room?
Yep,
Like,
the creep in the room.
and like the whole family's in the house still, right? So it's
Yeah.
not like he like separated you from.
no,
the
like we
herd.
would go upstairs to the playroom, and
Wow.
they would just sit. Just-
And how long did that last? How old were you?
I think it started when I was like 5, and maybe it stopped when I was 12, maybe.
And what made it stop?
I don't know. I thought that maybe he just was tired of me.
Yeah.
And I later found out that it just moved. I just got too old, I think. I think I just aged out
Out of his
the
age
system.
range.
I aged out of the system, I guess.
That is that's severely f***ed up.
Yeah, so I just never talked about it after that because I thought, well, he left me alone, so now everybody's safe because nobody else was talking about it. So
Mm-hmm.
I just continued on, and I didn't find out until recently that it happened to more people than just me.
So 12 put you in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
About to head to high school. How does high school go?
I didn't really make it to high school.
Oh, you didn't?
No, so the stepdad that I couldn't tell because he would kill over me. He and my mom separated when I was 12. And so I pretty much could do whatever I wanted because my mom was still in active addiction.
Yeah.
I got to 8th grade and I got expelled from school. And
What'd you do?
I hit my teacher with a desk.
Wow.
I'm sorry, what?
Right off rip, man. Going hard. That's a big time like kid crime, right? As far as
Holy
kid crime's
shit.
going.
Yeah. I looking back though, like I was just an angry kid and nobody ever asked me why. But
Yeah, rightfully
like
so.
one of those fucking
The
old
kind that's
school
connected.
desks.
One piece, yeah.
Yeah, the kind that's like the chair and the desk.
How'd
yeah.
you even pick that up and hit him with it?
Well, I just was so angry. I was late for class that day, and my teacher was like, "You need to go to the principal's office." And I was like, "You know what? F you. Like, I'm not going anywhere." And I just threw the desk, and then I got expelled. So.
Damn, what's the teacher do? Does he get out the way or?
Did you at least hit him?
He
Like,
called me all kinds of names. Yes, I
Did it
definitely
fuck him
did
up?
hit him. No, not really. Not really.
oh.
I don't think so.
I was just hoping if you got expelled, it
yeah,
was worth
make it worth it. Yeah,
Yeah, but they acted like it was like such a big deal. I mean, I guess it was.
God, it's a big deal.
Yeah,
it's not
that's
everyday
not
occurrence.
not a normal thing. I don't
fucking
think.
bench presses a desk and throws.
You
it
know,
at
but
the
like
teacher.
today though, in school, if a kid did that, they would be like, "What's happening to this child?" At
Yeah,
home?
yeah.
You know, like they never did that. They was like, "Oh well, you just can't come back to school for 80 days." So,
80 days.
Yeah.
And what kind of student are you prior to this? You still like you don't care?
No, I played basketball. I played
Okay.
volleyball.
Doesn't surprise me.
Got kicked off both teams for pulling up smoking weed to practice. My coach was like, "If you come back smelling like weed again, you got to go." And naturally, I did the next day.
Obviously.
Yeah, of
and
course.
this is age 12, right?
Yeah.
So when you start messing around with drugs.
Yeah.
Like
12.
when? 12, about 12?
12.
Yeah, 12. This guy that moved in down the street that I thought was really cute, and I swear I was playing Barbies on my porch, and he was walking down the street, and I literally just threw him in the garbage and was smoking Philly blunts that night. Like, it was just like
The day your childhood died.
immediately, like, just, I don't know what happened. I just was like, okay, well, no more Barbies. Yes.
Yeah, no more Barbies, just weed.
Yeah, just weed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, we're off to a hot start here.
Yeah, man, I'm in.
Okay,
Buckle my
so
seatbelt.
you get expelled. So I guess at that point you're an adult, right? I mean, you're not an adult, but like you're like. Do
When
you
I got
have to-
expelled, I was like 13. By that time, I had turned 13. My mom put me in mental hospitals because she said I was going to kill her. Like, I was just wild. I didn't listen. I never was going to kill her. I ended up having to never have a ninth grade year. So I had to redo the 8th grade. And when I did the 8th grade, they just put me directly to 10th grade.
Damn.
So I got to 10th grade with 0 credits. And you get a lot of credits in 9th grade. So by the time I got to my junior year, I had 2.5 credits.
For
I
being a
just dropped
junior.
out. Yeah, I just dropped out of school because
Damn.
that made so much sense.
And like, what's life at home? Like, so stepdad's out of the equation?
Yeah.
Okay. Where's real
Yeah.
dad?
He and my mom separated when I was like 18 months old. So
Okay.
he's like there, but he's a raging alcoholic as well. So no matter which house I went to, it was like complete war.
Chaos all the
Yeah,
time.
my dad was married to my stepmom at the time, and they was abusive all the time. If I was there, my mom would have to come get me because the cops would come. Like, it was just pure chaos everywhere I went.
So not only is it in your blood, alcoholism, but like it's everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Like,
Everywhere that I went. Not the rest of my family, though. Like, when I would go there, it was, like, weird. Like, they would pray and eat dinner together.
And then you'd have, yeah, right. And then you're supposed to be like Pentecostal, this
Yeah.
like perfect whatever.
Yeah.
Wow.
And home life for, like, my mom, once my stepdad left, it was, like, she was, like, a free teenager. Like, she just turned 18. Like, she just was out running the streets, and I could do whatever I wanted to. I had parties all the time.
Yeah, I was gonna say what they look like. Do
Yeah,
whatever
parties
you
all the
wanted
time.
to. Just
Parties all the time, coming home when I wanted to, and sometimes she would like get to her senses and like send me to live with my aunt and uncle, which were they was like real Pentecostals.
Oh,
Like,
man.
they followed the Pentecostal.
oh
It's like
fuck.
cultural
Yeah.
shock, isn't it?
Yeah. So she'd send me out there, and I'd have to sneak away back, and yeah, that was a rough time.
And that's how it went till what, you turned 18?
I moved back in with my dad when I was like 17, I think, or 18, because my mom ended up not paying the bills. We lost that house. The police came and took it. And then I moved back in with my dad when I was like 18, I think, 19. Occasionally I would stay with friends, just wherever, because my mom was staying wherever. She didn't have a stable house either. I do have a little brother. My stepdad took him when they separated, so I just stayed wherever I could, you know. My grandparents always let me come to their house no matter what. That was always a safe place for me. But after like, I think it was 16 when our house got took, there was no stability from my mom for me.
And you moved in with dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you
moved in with my
mentioned
dad.
that you had an apartment above where your dad lived.
Yeah, my dad, he owned the house. It was like a duplex, and my dad's sister, my aunt, had lived up there, and she passed away, so he just let me move up there when I was 17. So now I have my own apartment. I'm 17
Wow.
years old, so now I'm having more parties and doing what I want.
I feel like your life is like the what not to do as a parent, right?
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah,
exact opposite.
Yes. I'm definitely like the book of like, hey, don't do these things. But
Has your dad ever like, excuse me, like when you're upstairs, like, hey, like you're getting out of hand, or are you just sitting like
no.
he's so in his own thing? Like,
No, if I
doesn't-
was out of hand, I didn't have electric. That's how I knew that I needed to tone it down. Like, if the electric went out, I knew I needed
it's
to be
just
quiet.
bad.
Yeah,
And then like
yeah.
when's he turn it back on? How long?
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I was gonna ask.
How long you
long?
grounded from electricity for?
Just like, I don't know, an hour maybe
Okay.
max. But it would be like summertime, like no
Ooh,
no air
yeah.
conditioning, like, you know, the worst times he would choose. Not like winter, but yeah, when all my friends was there, so it was super embarrassing because now we don't have electric. We're
Oh.
just
Yeah,
sitting
yeah.
here looking stupid. We don't have cell phones, you know, like nothing.
What do you tell them when the power goes out? Like,
Oh, they already knew.
Oh, they knew.
Yeah.
Like it was the
Yeah.
dad thing.
You
The friends
told
that I
them.
had then was like friends from elementary school, so
Yeah.
they knew how I had grew up. So they knew. They would laugh, and sometimes they would try to talk my dad into turning the electric back on.
Jeez.
Occasionally
man.
it would work.
God.
Holy shit. Okay, so when you say parties, are we talking weed and beer, weed and liquor, weed and alcohol, whatever?
So back then it was like weed, alcohol, definitely ecstasy. That was like a given all the time. Acid occasionally.
That was a given.
Yeah, ecstasy
Okay.
was like a thing back
What
then.
era are you from? How old are you?
I'm gonna be 41 in July.
Okay, so we're the same. So we came.
Yeah.
I would say that sounds like my
Yeah,
era. Yeah.
ecstasy was definitely a thing back then. Oh, cocaine, we didn't rule that out either.
Yeah.
Cocaine was a
If it
pretty
showed
normal
up,
drug.
what the
Yeah.
hell? Yeah.
That was pretty normal back then too. So, I was gonna say, but no hard drugs. But
Cocaine.
mind.
Cocaine's up there.
ecstasy's
Up
pretty up
there.
there. But yeah, I hadn't made it to the hard drugs yet per se, in my mind.
Yeah.
And are you working? Are you doing anything? Like, how do you support
how are
this
you
party
buying that
I
lifestyle?
shit?
did have a job. I was
Okay.
a car hop at Sonic.
A car upsets the lady that comes out. You didn't have to do the
You had to wear
rollerblades, did
skates
you?
then.
Oh,
Oh.
man.
You had to wear skates.
Jesus.
Then. And,
Did you ever fucking eat shit?
Yeah, you ever just
Well,
take a tumble?
Quite often, I would eat handfuls of Xanax bars. And
No,
go to
and
work.
go
I didn't.
rollerblading.
Okay, I didn't mean like eat Xanax bars. I meant like eat shit, like
Well, yeah, but
fall
then
on
I
your
would.
rollerblades.
Then she'd fucking
The Xanax
wipe
did
out.
not assist in this. I got hit by 2 cars at work from the Xanax.
And then like, which is weird because like it's a drive-in, so they're not going fast, right? So it's like,
Well, no, like, but when they pull out of the drive-through, like, here's the drive-through, and when they pull out, the car hop comes right here to go to the car. So they would be pulling out, and I didn't pay attention because I was
And
on
just boom.
Xanaxes, and I would just get
I thought
hit.
they had to park. I thought they like parked.
Well, they do, but they also have a drive-through at Sonic. So if you don't watch that drive-through, the drive-through people, when they're
The
leaving,
cars will come out.
yeah, they'll
and-
clip you.
so did you ever get like did you ever get hurt or just like?
I mean,
Right.
probably not really hurt, but then I was like, I can get workman's comp, but oh wait, no, I can't actually because I
you're
have every
drugged up.
drug
Yeah.
in history in my
Yeah,
system right now. So.
And they're gonna drug test you for that shit.
Yeah, so I would just get up and keep working after the.
I would
after
love.
got
I would
hit.
almost pay to see some shit coming out, bringing my food. That's just all Xanny barred
And
out.
just getting
on-
clipped by a
on-
car.
on roller skates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a friend that worked with me at the time. We would eat Xanaxes together prior to our shifts, and one time we was trying to get to the cars at the same time. We both had our trays full of food, and we just
Just
crashed into
played
each
a
other.
game of chicken.
Food went everywhere. The drinks went all over us.
And are they ever like your boss? Like, all right, Jen, like it's your 3rd spill this week. Like, you got to get it together, man.
No, I don't think they really cared. They just needed us to work there. And I was good on skates without not Xanaxes.
Yeah,
Right.
Like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
was really good on skates without
Yeah.
the Xanaxes. So
Well, you played sports and shit, so I'm assuming your hand-eye coordination is really good.
yeah, I was
So-
pretty good at that. But when you add Xanaxes to roller skates,
That's just
it's
a
really
weird
not a good
job.
combination.
Like, imagine like working at your restaurant you worked at on roller skates, bud. Like carrying food out on
Well,
roller skates.
I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, I don't
It's
think
not
I
really
could.
safe. Like,
Yeah.
I would skate through the kitchen, the greasy ass kitchen, and eat food because, you know, naturally I was
Well,
on
yeah.
Xanaxes. I needed to eat some food. So, yeah,
Oh my goodness gracious.
I didn't
Okay.
manage to keep that long.
Okay, so you've got hold on, I'm trying to think how to or what to ask you. So life is fucked up immensely. You're eating Xanax bars, getting clipped by cars, working at Sonic. plus the other shit you told us. I want to say, like, when does it get really bad? But it sounds like it's already pretty bad.
Started bad.
So, like, when do you dive into the quote-unquote hard drugs?
Oh, so September 8th, 2009. That's
Damn,
the day that
another
my
day.
dad died.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
That's the
Same
day.
day.
I left from finding him, ate some more of them Xanaxes, and in my mind, I was like, hey, I really need to be close to my dad, and I shot heroin that night.
Get the hell out of here. How do you rationalize
I didn't snort
that?
it. I just immediately shot heroin.
Never shot Doug, never banged
never.
heroin, nothing.
You hit?
Yeah.
You hit your vein? You
No.
managed to do it?
No, I talked somebody else into it. It took me quite some time to talk him into it.
And who do you ask to do that?
It was one of my friends, one of my childhood friends.
Man.
That you knew was doing heroin?
He almost fought me over it because he was a heroin addict. So it was like I seen him do it all the time. I seen that he didn't care about anything when he did it. And I was like, hey, let me in. We had to fight for like 3 hours for me to get him to hit me, but he eventually did.
How'd you win? Like, what was the deciding moment? Like,
bat your eyelashes
where he was
enough?
like, all right, fine.
I had the money. I had just got my income tax, and he
he was
didn't have any money.
running out of dope, yeah.
Yep.
That'll do
that
it.
was the
Yeah,
deciding
I'd sell my
factor.
soul.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Yep. I got a couple hundred. You go get some dope if you'll get me high. He was sold after that.
And it's insane because your dad literally just died.
Yeah, hours before.
Yeah,
that.
of a heroin overdose. First time he ever did heroin.
First time
That never
ever.
crossed your mind, like.
So was there part of you like, I'm ready, like, I want to go too? Was that like part of the thought process? Or were you just like, this is going to take me out of me so much that I'm not going to think about it?
I think it was all of it. Like, by this time, I had my daughter. She was 2. And, like, I didn't even think about that. I didn't think about my daughter. And, that sounds really shitty, but I did not even care about anything but how I felt in that moment. And if I shot that heroin, I could probably feel how my dad did. And if I shot that heroin, it was definitely going to get me back to my dad.
Ugh.
So I could meet him, too. If I did heroin, it was going to kill me, too.
Okay.
So that was the thought process.
Yeah, it was going to kill me, too.
And you said your daughter's 2 at this point?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. She
What
was
now?
2.
So the father of your daughter is like a stable guy, or no?
He's
Just like
just-
a
He's trash. Like,
okay.
He's trash.
So he's not involved in her life at that point.
Not ever.
Okay.
Any point. No.
Where do you meet that fella?
I feel like he preyed on me. I ain't even gonna lie. He had been trying to talk to me for a long time. I did not like him.
Yeah.
He caught me coming out of this bar drunk one night and was like, "Let me take you to eat." I went to eat with him.
Gotcha.
He had all this money. I came from this really poor lifestyle. I'm just being honest. I came from nothing.
Yeah.
He came from everything. He was driving a Hummer, whatever year that was, a brand new Hummer.
Oh, yeah. Back then.
He took me
those
to
were-
eat. We had a great time, and he was like, "I'm not taking you back to your dad's." He bought me a whole new wardrobe, and I didn't go back to my dad's until I got pregnant. When I got pregnant, I ended
Did
up
the
back
walk
at
of shame
home.
back to dad's?
Yeah, because he was like, you have an abortion or you raise that kid by yourself. Those are your choices.
Ooh.
So
That's what the boyfriend said, or the whatever you call him.
mhm.
Huh? So you're like, okay, I
Yeah.
guess it's just me.
yeah, we're out of here.
And does he pay child support or anything?
$51 a month, 3 times a year.
How in the fuck?
And my
How
daughter
do
will
you
be
get that
18 next
sweet
month.
deal?
Oh, well, so at the time when I started dating him, he had 3 kids and he was 30.
Red
By the
flag
time I
number
got
1.
pregnant, he really had 18 kids. And he was really
Whoa.
40.
Wait.
Hang on here. Hang on here. You just got bamboozled.
Played. Yeah.
Okay, so
He had-
33 kids to 40 whatever and 18 kids?
Yeah. And counting. And counting.
How do you have 18
Why would you do that?
fucking children? How do you find that out?
Well, I would go places and like I would see people, we would start talking. I remember one day I was at the park with my daughter and she was playing with this other little girl and I was talking to the girl's mom and she was like, "Oh, where are you from?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm from Hamilton. I'm staying in Oxford." And she was like, "That's where my baby's dad's from." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And she was like, "His name's Tyler." And I was like,
Wow, what a small world.
"Oh, okay." And then I'm looking at these little girls and I'm like, "Oh shit, they're sisters." So,
Oh.
and they're 5 months apart. My daughter was 5 months older than her. So now I'm looking at her like, okay, so he was definitely cheating on me with you. So, and then she told me about all the other ones. There's, I remember one day we was walking down the street by my grandma's house, and this girl came out to my daughter and was like, "Hey, this is your brother," and just introduced her to some other random kid.
Your poor kid meets a new
All
brother
the
or
time.
sister every week.
She'll be
know?
18 next month, and she's still meeting siblings.
So is that how he gets off paying so little because he's got 30 fucking
Yeah,
kids
because
running
I was
around?
like, towards the end, I got like the least. Like, I guess the first baby mom, she probably gets like a decent amount. But like the further out you are, like the less you get.
That is absolutely insane.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't want to say I'm speechless, but like, I'm
was pretty speechless.
floored by that. Yeah, he's like, he's not actually 30, he's 41
Yeah.
and got 18 kids.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay, so the heroin.
Yeah.
Where does the heroin take you? What does that look like? Or like what doors does that open for other drugs or I mean,
I don't think there really was other drugs after that. First of all, I'm allergic to opiates. I look like the Nutty Professor when I shoot drugs.
You know.
Like, I swell up wherever I did the drugs. So, but that didn't stop me either. So, when I did it that night, it was like
you swell up like everywhere or like
just wherever.
where you
yeah,
shot
wherever
at?
I shot it at. Yeah. So I had
Okay.
to like hide that, but that didn't always work. You run out of veins at some point.
Oh, yeah.
I did it that night, and it was like I didn't feel anything. Like nothing mattered. I puked all night though. That was like the terriblest part. But I didn't care that my dad wasn't there. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I didn't care, and
Yeah.
I never wanted to not feel like that. So I was just off to the races.
Immediately.
My dad died September 8th. I don't know exactly. I think his funeral was like the 17th or 16th or the 17th of September. By then, if I had stopped using heroin, I would have been withdrawing. Like, I was so far in. I had just got this income tax. I probably had like $4,000, and I had done spent probably 3 of it in a week on
Wow.
heroin.
So from when he died in September 8th, 9th, whatever it was, till his funeral, whatever, a couple weeks later, you're full blown.
Yeah,
At
done.
that point.
It was done.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was a month from graduating college when my dad died.
Huh.
I wanted to quit doing that. My professors kept making me go. I was going to college for criminal justice.
Where'd you go?
Really?
Well, it turns out it's not accredited now, but I didn't know that then. So now I have all these fucking student loans for that. Southwestern College.
So it's one of those
Lincoln
that like
Tech
you see
now.
on TV and then like, yeah.
Yeah, Scam Likely. Yeah.
Wow,
I went
man.
to Scam Likely College.
Your life is scam likely.
It basically is.
Jesus,
Yeah.
man.
I ended up being able to graduate college.
Is it like Everest? Like one of those Everest?
It's like Divine
Yeah, like
or,
some
yeah.
bullshit.
You remember those Everest commercials?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Where they just take all your money, and now they're
Yeah.
about to take all my funds now, currently. Yes.
Mm.
I graduated.
Jesus.
I graduated October. I don't know. I was too high, but I graduated, and I remember being at my graduation, and I was so fucked up that the girl next to me was like, "Jen, like you gotta
calling
go,
your name.
You gotta go
You're
there.
out.
You
Calling
gotta
your
go
name,
across
girl."
the stage, like and my grandparents was there, and like I didn't even care, and that was something that was always important to me. It was like making sure that my grandparents like seen the good side
The
of
good
me.
stuff, yeah.
And I didn't even care. It was just tragic, and it just progressed from there.
It's ironic
Heroin
too.
was
A
my
heroin
love.
addict is going to study for what is it? Criminal
Yeah.
justice. Yeah.
I wanted to be a crime scene tech. Like that was my dream, was to be like a crime scene tech, and I didn't want to be like my parents. I was never going to be like my parents, and now I had this daughter that I knew I had to raise by myself. So as soon as I found out I was pregnant, I enrolled in college because
Okay.
I didn't want to be like them.
And is it hard raising a daughter while being a heroin addict?
I mean, I think it might have been. But to be fair,
Yeah.
most of the time, like, I would buy her Happy Meals and toys, and she would be content, and I would spend most of my days in the bathroom.
What about like when chasing money? Like how do you get where are you getting your money from then?
Well, by then I had this new savior boyfriend that was going to
Okay.
help me raise my daughter.
Okay.
So he robs houses.
Oh.
So we're pretty much in there. He goes and robs the houses. I get to get high. So we was pretty much in there.
It's a win-win.
Yeah, it was a win for
Yeah.
me anyway. Like I don't have to do much of anything, just get high. But he went to prison. He quickly got caught robbing houses, and he went to prison. So now I'm a heroin addict on my own,
Yeah.
and I got to get high.
And you got a daughter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Jeez.
So,
So he goes to prison. What do you do?
well, I thought, okay, other girls, they prostitute. That's what they do.
Mhm.
And I thought, well, nobody's ever going to pay me what I think I'm worth. Because these girls are out here, like, selling themselves for $20. And,
quote
you know,
of the day.
no discredit to them,
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
you know, I can't stand next to them and be like, I need $1,000.
Yeah.
Like, I look like
bad
trash.
business,
I look
yeah.
dead. And nobody's going to want to even probably have sex with me, let alone pay.
Well, they'll pay $1,000 for it.
Yeah, so one day I Googled on YouTube, like, hey, how do I kick in a door? And it taught me where to kick the door. And I kicked in my first door that day.
God bless the internet, right?
Yeah.
Look up anything on the
YouTube.
internet.
YouTube would teach
Okay,
anything.
so you kick your... Well, like,
Something fucked up happened in this first, that had to have on this first door. I did this first house.
Yeah, the first house, I took my brother with me.
and then how do you scope it out first? You just go willy-nilly
God.
or what?
That's the worst part. So we would get up like it was our job. We would get up at 8. We'd
Yeah.
go get our coffee and our donuts like we was going to work. And then we would go and knock on people's doors. By this point, I had learned from my ex-boyfriend, you know, like the houses that looked like they had something good in them. And we would knock on the door, and if you didn't answer your door, we just kicked it in. That was it.
What are you going to say if they do answer the door? What's your
We was
move?
lost. We needed
Oh, okay.
directions. We're probably out of gas. I don't know.
Something, just anything.
whatever.
Doesn't
Whatever
matter.
came to mind.
Yeah. As long as you're not committing a crime, it doesn't really fucking matter.
It didn't matter. Just, okay, I'm leaving. You're here. So
Is there ever any
bye.
point to where you're knocking where you're just like, please answer, please answer? 'Cause
No.
You don't want to do it. You're just ready to go.
Yeah.
You
no.
want the money.
I was pissed off when they answered.
Yeah.
Like, why the fuck are you at home? Don't
Yeah,
you have a job?
it's
Like,
10 o'clock in the
go to
morning.
fucking work,
yeah.
bro. Like,
Loser.
I'm at work. You need to go to work.
Yeah.
Like, that's how my brain works. So,
So you get up to the first house, right?
yeah.
Nobody's answering the phone. You're like, all right, this is the one.
Yeah, in that first house, oh my God, it was like one of those TVs that, like, when you was a kid, your parents made you get up and go turn the,
Oh, yeah.
you know, the little
Oh,
dials on.
God.
But
Big guys.
They was probably like 90. And now I care, but then I didn't. I was pissed off. Like, fucking broke. Like, okay. So,
You talking about the TVs with like the big backs?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
old
All right, but if
school.
they're old, they probably got like some jewelry or some shit stashed.
well,
like,
we didn't have time
away.
to look for that, for sure.
So you're just going in looking for all the like obvious TVs.
flat screens, jewelry, something I can be in and out with real quick.
Cash. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So did you?
A dog.
Did you
you
get
know,
anything?
whatever.
Dog? You gonna take the dog?
I mean, whatever.
whatever.
Food.
Have you taken a dog before?
I didn't successfully get that one, but I attempted it. We would take food out of their freezer, like, just whatever. You know, my daughter, I still got this daughter. She's got to have food.
She's
too.
gotta eat, too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's
Oh,
got to
yeah,
eat too.
yeah.
She's always my
That's a good
priority.
point.
Drugs and her was my priority. But she always trumped drugs somehow. I don't know how.
Good
By
for you.
blessing, she trumped
Yeah.
the drugs. But, yeah, I just took whatever of value. I gave myself like a minute in each house, and
So
we
you're-
had to be out.
Your first big lick, what's your grand total?
I think it was like 3 grams. 3
Okay.
grams. Because it was like, oh my God, the TV was so big our doors wouldn't close. This TV that we stole from this house.
Flat screen.
Yeah, it was so big that the back doors wouldn't close. So I'm like holding the door. My brother's driving, like hoping it doesn't fall out. And we got some other things. I don't remember, but we got like 3 grams. And it was back then, flat screens were worth way more than
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, to me, I was like, oh, yeah, this
Super
is great.
expensive.
Like,
Yeah,
this is a
come
good
up.
job. I'm on it every day now. Like, I don't have to do nothing. I don't have to sell my ass. Like, I don't have to degrade myself. I'm not hurting anybody because people aren't home. I'm just taking their
Yeah.
things that insurance will replace.
Yeah.
So I was off to the races. That's how we did it. We just, if you didn't answer your door, we was coming in.
Are you in like, is there any system to it? Are you going to the same neighborhood every day?
No, we would just try to like go to different areas. We would try to go outside of Hamilton City
Okay.
because we already wasn't looking good there. We had already got some cases there.
Reputation
so-
wasn't so hot.
Yeah,
there.
we would try to venture out, but we really didn't have like if it depended on how much gas we had that day. Also, like if we had a quarter tank of gas, like we can't go far. So
We got about a 20-mile radius.
yeah, we ran out of gas so many times robbing houses.
Man.
Holy fuck. Oh my God. Tell us about an incident that went wrong, kicking in a door.
That went wrong quite often. The biggest went wrong one was the last one. That was the biggest one. That was where I tried to steal the dog. By this time, my brother is no longer my partner in crime because he's now in jail too.
Oh, he get caught?
Yeah, we had both got caught. So one day we got really desperate and we didn't want to rob a house because we had waited too late in the day. So we went to this park and we broke somebody's window out and we stole their purse. And we went straight to Walmart.
Out of a car?
Yeah. We went straight to Walmart with their credit card and bought like a PS whatever was out that year and a laptop on camera. You know, my brother's 6'6", like.
You're a tall lady
Yeah,
yourself.
we can't blend.
Yeah.
We can't blend. You know, so the cops caught us doing that. So they ended up picking us up. And,
Did you know you were fucked as you were doing it?
Yeah, I didn't care. I didn't
Oh,
care.
okay.
Because this is like stealing or something. It's not like a felony at this point.
Yeah.
Like, I had already did the math of what I was purchasing. It's not over $1,000. So I'm good to go.
So
You're
it's
good.
not a felony theft, but you also stole a credit card.
Well, yeah, but that wasn't the important part.
Okay.
The amount of items that I used with
No,
the
I
credit card.
I get that because I did the same thing.
That's
I
how I
tried to
justified
stay
it, yeah.
under felony level crimes. Like I get it.
Yes, not that I already have busted her window out, stole her entire purse.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
all that didn't matter. It was just how much I used on her credit card. That's what mattered. So we ended up getting picked up on that. So we was already like on the radar of the cops. And I don't know why the fuck they let me go home that day. But they let me go home. Maybe my brother took the charges. My brother stayed. He never came home after that. He ended up in prison. I got to come home.
Damn.
And I remember he called me that night and he was like, sis, listen, I need you to go to rehab. Like, you're going to go to prison too. Everybody that's been with us is in prison. Like, just go to rehab.
You're next.
And I was like, okay, I got you. And he was like, but before we got arrested, there's this bag of dope in the bathroom. Go get it. Okay, boom. So I did. And naturally, I didn't go to rehab. Of course I didn't.
You did the dope and then went on about your happy life.
Yeah. And then I called my best friend and I was like, hey, we don't have my brother. Now it's just us. So now it's just us two females. Now we got to rob the houses together.
And you stuck with the robbing of the houses.
Yeah, because she was like, my best friend's like 5 foot tall. She weighed about 100 pounds. So one time she tried to kick the door and she just fell on the ground.
She was
Like,
flying backwards.
nothing occurred. Like, nothing. So, yeah, it was always me that had to do the kicking.
You were the muscle.
door. Yep, it was me.
So tell us about the house that you get, the last house.
So her and I, we robbed houses. I can't even tell you how many, and I wouldn't. Multiple times we've robbed these houses. And so my best friend, she had 4 kids, and then I had my kid. My mom's still on drugs at this time. So she would watch like 3 of the kids when we would go rob houses because she knew what we was doing too. We would just give her some dope when we got back.
She was cool.
This particular day, we had 2 of the kids with us. We had her 2 kids with us.
Oh, you had them in the car, like, with you?
Yeah.
Man.
Because we would always tell them we was moving. We was helping our friends move. Like, we was helping our friends move. That day, we had her oldest son and her youngest son with us. And we went to this house. And I didn't even want to go this day in particular. It was December 28th. I didn't want to go. I had a little bit of dope. It was the day after Christmas. I was playing with my daughter the best that I could. Like, playing with this toy that I had also stole from somebody's house. This big Barbie dream camper that she thought was the greatest. I was a great mom that year. And my best friend kept calling me and she's like, Jen, I'm sick. You know, like, we got to go get right. And finally I was like, fuck it, come get me. So we go and we're driving and we get to this house and it was down like this mile-long driveway and there's 2 houses at the end. There's this one and there's this one. We get out, it's winter time. And I was like, hey, I don't feel good about this. I had never felt like that. I never gave a fuck. Like, I would get out of the car and just be in there before she could even take her seatbelt off. Like, I never cared. And I got out and I was like, hey, this don't feel right. And she was like, it's okay. Like, she was really, really dope sick. She was like, it's okay, Jen. And I'm like, no, something ain't right here. Well, I look in the backyard and there was probably like 6 inches of snow and I see this thing like coming through the yard and I'm like, what the fuck is that? It's the dog.
Okay.
It's the dog. It's like this little Chihuahua dog. And it's like shivering. And if I would have thought, I would have realized that they was probably coming back pretty quick if the dog's
right.
outside.
Yeah.
Right.
But no, I'm like, these abusive fucks, like, they're taking their dog. So I got the dog with me. This is my fuck up. I got the dog with me. I go in. I go straight to the refrigerator. I start feeding the dog.
Oh, boy.
Like whatever's in the refrigerator, some bologna, something, you know. So I'm just carrying the dog around with me. And we get the laptop. We took every Christmas present from under the Christmas tree and stacked it on top of the TV. And we was leaving, and her kids are in the car at this time. Both of the boys was in the car. And we went to walk out, and as we're walking out, I got this dog in my hand. I got this TV and all these presents stacked up. I can barely see over the presents. And, you know, she's in front of me. And I hear, stop, I'm a Hamilton County Sheriff.
Oh, buddy.
And I was like, oh, fuck, what did he just say? And he was like, I'm a Hamilton County Sheriff. So I move. I realize it is a Hamilton County Sheriff and his family. They had came back home.
Oh, so it was a police officer's house.
Yeah, it was the sheriff's house.
Man.
Oh my god.
I got his dog. I got his TV.
You got his Christmas
I got his
fucking
Christmas
presents. You're the Grinch
Yeah,
right now.
and his children are looking at me. I'm looking at them. Not giving a fuck at that point because all I cared about was getting out of there. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm going to be dope sick soon. So I got to get out of here. So my best friend ran to her car, gets in the car, leaves me, which naturally her kids
Leaves
were there.
you?
Well, her kids were in the
Yeah,
car.
yeah.
So she gets in the car and tries to drive away. The cop's wife jumps in the car, into her car, and she T-bones my best friend into this tree. The cop tackles me, is beating my ass relentlessly. My best friend ended up being able to drive away. She got out of that driveway. She didn't make it far, but she got out of there. So now I have the husband, the wife, and this chihuahua that I was trying to save its life is biting the fuck out of me.
Wow, the Chihuahua turned on you.
Yeah, it's fucking me up after I was just feeding it.
Damn.
So the husband, the cop, he literally broke my shoulder, like, and I knew he did. I was like, "You're breaking my shoulder." He was like, "I fucking know. Like, you're lucky. I'm just breaking your shoulder." His wife's like digging her stilettos into my ribs. Like, they was fucking me up.
So
Fucking
full-on
me
beat
up.
down.
Yeah, they're calling the cops, and I can hear them on the phone with the cops, and they're like, "Somebody broke in. They're being aggressive," and I'm like crying, like, "I'm not. Please come get me. Like, I'm not being aggressive. Like, I don't. Just please come and get me." There ended up being like probably 30 cop cars
Oh,
in the
yeah.
driveway.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so
One
many
of their own.
ambulance and yeah, I didn't know that my best friend, it had popped her tires, so she ended up getting arrested like a mile down the road. But when the lady had T-boned her son, her youngest son, he hit the windshield and he had like this big spot on his head, and so she did end up getting arrested. But I had no idea that this was what was happening as I'm getting my ass beat.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that one, the dog didn't go well, and it did go wrong that time.
I can't believe the dog turned on you.
What'd they charge you with?
Oh my
Everything under the sun.
Yeah, aggravated felonious assault, aggravated robbery.
How do you get a felonious assault charge?
I didn't even have a weapon. So the cop told him I had a hammer. He told him I attacked him with a hammer. When he came to court, he came with a walker, said I broke his back. Like,
what?
all of these things that definitely didn't happen. But I couldn't say, like, you're a fucking liar. Because I couldn't, like, minimize what I did. But, like,
and nobody's going to believe you anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't matter
absolutely
what
not.
you say.
You're the bad
Absolutely
guy.
not. No,
Came
definitely
to
not
a
going to believe me.
walker. Wow.
And of course, he's showing up to court to testify.
Every time. Every time.
No doubt.
Every time. Well, the crazy thing is that day prior to that, we had went to another house prior to that one. And we tried to break in, and they had this really loud alarm that went off, so we just left immediately.
Yeah.
Went to this terrible house that we got caught at. Well, that lady also showed up, the one with the alarm. She also showed up.
At court?
Yes. So now I have both of them in court against me. Yes.
And is your friend there in court with you?
Sometimes she was. We got booked into the jail together.
Yeah.
And then, like, a week into it, I got moved to a different jail. And this was, like, really the first time I'd ever really, really been in trouble. Like, I got in jail, like, 2 days one time. And everybody was like, "Hey, something ain't adding up. Like, why did they separate you guys?" And I'm like,
Oh, man, yeah.
I don't really know. Like, I don't know what happened. And they're like, "Well, the math's math and Jen. Like,
Yeah.
she's probably telling on you."
She told.
I'm like, there's no way. There's no way
That's my
that
best
she would do
friend.
that. This is my best friend, like, she would never do that. And they're like, "Jen, yeah.
Fuck yes, she would.
So we go to court, and in Hamilton County, there's these things called the bullpens. That's where they put you for court. And on this side is all the girls for court. And I just was over here by myself, just me over here by myself. And I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure out why, but ultimately they did separate our cases because she had told.
Well, I mean, what's she telling, though? Because, like, what she's like, oh, she did it all. I was just a getaway driver. Like,
looking back, and driving here this morning, I was like, you know what, I'm going to leave that part out, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But,
okay.
She had got arrested a couple weeks prior to us having this incident, and she had got caught with some drugs.
She was on probation.
And they told her, like, "Hey, we will take your kids." They knew that we was robbing houses. They didn't have any evidence that we was robbing these houses.
Okay.
So they questioned her, told her, "We'll take your kids." She was scared. She said, "It's not me. My friend drove my truck." I didn't know that happened weeks prior to this.
Yeah.
She continued to rob houses with me. It's not like, I don't think that she even played the tape through, of what she was doing. So, yeah, they separated our cases.
So she sold you out on, like, other paths.
Yeah, something totally different that had nothing to do with this.
That's dirt. Yeah.
And then
that's dirty.
continued to hang out with you and rob houses.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was her car that we drove
Yeah.
to rob the houses. So,
I know, it was Jen.
yeah.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
All right, so what are you facing? What's the...
The first offer they came to me with was 16 years.
16 years.
16
Jesus.
years. Yeah.
Your
And then-
heart sank to your stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Are you
thought he
shitting
couldn't
your
be-
pants at this point?
I
Knowing
thought
like
he
it's
couldn't
bad.
be telling the truth. Like 16 consecutive years? Like, no coming home, 16 years? And he was like, yeah, but if you'll write a statement on your brother, because my brother's still in another county waiting on pending charges because I'm his co-defendant there.
Yeah.
And you'll write a statement on your co-defendant,
The girl that told on
the
you.
driver. We'll give you 2 years.
Oh.
Oh,
I said,
fuck.
well, I'm not doing that. So come
Good
back
for
again.
you.
Whatever offer you can come back with, come back again. That's not an option for me.
Why not?
Well, my brother was involved, first of all.
Yeah.
My brother's charges was like felony force. So I
Okay.
know he's coming home. Somebody
Yeah.
has to raise my daughter.
Yeah.
So that's a no.
Okay.
And also, I did the shit. Like, I
Yeah.
did the shit. So why would I be like, well, they did it? Like, I did the
Right.
shit. So I'm not going to cop out of it. Like, I did it, Fuck it. It is what it is.
Man.
So I told him no to the 16. No to the 2. The next offer was 8. I told him no. He said, Jen, listen, the next one you're going to have to take it. That's it. Or you got to take it to trial. He comes back and he's like, 6 years is the best we can give
Is
you.
this a paid attorney or a
It
public
was a
defender?
pro bono attorney.
It's even worse.
But
than
I thought that was like
fucking-
something good back then. Like,
Yeah.
I had a high profile case. I robbed the police. So this is like he wants to get a win or,
I
or
get it.
not. He wants to sink me, probably is what happened. Like he wanted to sink me. So he's like, Jen, whatever the next offer is, you got to take it or we got to go to trial. He comes back, it's the 6 years. And I was like, well, let's go to trial. He's like, you did it. Like, you got caught there. Like,
Yeah.
You did this. And I was like, oh, well, it's a bench trial. So it's just the judge. Like, it is what it is.
Wait, you went to trial?
You're
Yeah.
ballsy, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
Because at the end of trial, like, you could get the 16.
You
You
could
could
get-
get whatever.
the whole 16 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, what a gamble.
I didn't feel like I had a chance, though. Like, I had never heard of, like, treatment or anything other than that. Nobody had ever suggested anything else.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
it was just prison. That was my only choice. And
It
I didn't
was
feel like
just-
that was fair.
Yeah, you
Like,
were a
I'm not
criminal.
taking that.
Wow.
Yeah, they told me I was a menace and, all these things. And I didn't want to take that. So I took it to trial with the judge. I pled my case.
It wasn't a jury trial.
Nope, just the judge.
Okay.
The
Okay.
judge got the final say. I told her, I'm on drugs. Obviously I looked like it. And this big sympathy thing, because I had planned out, like, if I tell her all this stuff, she'll let me out and I can go home and get high today.
Yeah.
That was my plan.
Yeah.
No. She was like, you're a menace to society. You're a danger to the community.
Ooh.
Like, my mom and my grandma had came to court that day. And they were standing behind me and she's telling me all these things. And I'm like, I'm not those things. Like, I'm not. Because by this time, I had been sober for, like, I don't know, a couple months. Because I've been fighting this trial of this case that I did.
Right.
It's like May by then. I got arrested in December. So
Yeah.
I got a little bit of head on my shoulders by this time. And I'm, like, crying because I'm not these things, And she's like, I'm sorry, I'm giving you the 6 anyway. It's like, this is what you're going to take is the 6, which I was grateful for, but 6 years. Like,
Yeah.
so I look at my lawyer and I'm like, like 6 years in rehab? He's like,
6 years, bless your heart.
yeah, he's like, you're going to prison, like the Department of Corrections. And I'm like,
Yeah.
and I can remember, like, hearing my mom in the background, I heard her hit the floor and she just was screaming and crying. It was like the most piercing scream I had ever heard in my life.
Wow.
So I got to take the 6.
Took this. How long a process?
Which was
is it?
still the least, like,
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, so I gambled and I guess I kind of won, I guess.
I mean, yeah,
Essentially.
you couldn't have. Yeah. Like,
That was the best outcome that there was.
that was the best
Yeah, it
offer
could have
they
been
gave
much
you.
worse.
Yes.
Could have been much worse.
Could have been a
Yes.
1 in front of that 6.
Yeah, well, I still had some more charges that I had to go face.
Oh,
So, yeah,
So,
with my brother, the other
Oh, yeah,
co-defendant.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I only had I got these 6 I got to go do for sure. I got to do 6 for sure. So, yeah, I did that and pled out to that. Got them 6 years.
so where you get sent out to what, Marysville?
Yeah, they sent me out like really, really quick, and I made it to admissions. It's like a MCC is what we call it.
Mm.
You're supposed to be there for 30 days.
It's like CRC.
CRC.
Yep,
Yeah.
but for
classification.
women. Yeah.
I was there for like 3 days. They tell me to pack up. I'm going back to Butler County.
Oh.
I get to Butler County. I find out I have like 10 felony 2s for robbery
Ooh,
in Butler
but
County.
that's with your brother?
Yep, that's with my brother.
Damn.
I got to court like a couple days later. I walk in, no lawyer. My brother's in there. I get up in front of the judge and I was like, I did everything. He wasn't there. It was just me. I did it all. Like, he has nothing to do with this. And she's like, listen, I respect what you're doing, but you're facing like 80 years in prison. And I was like, you know what? I might need a lawyer, actually.
Yeah.
I
I'm going to
probably
shut
need a
up.
lawyer. I'm
I
sorry.
recant my statement.
I actually need a lawyer. And she's like, you know what? You do. So I lawyered up then. That is when I found out that my best friend had wrote the statement. Is then. Because that was the county that she wrote the statement in.
Wow. So you got 6 years plus whatever this may bring.
Yes.
Man.
Whatever's coming from this.
And did you have to sit in the Hamilton County Jail during this whole process too?
No, they kept taking me back and forth.
Just
like
back and forth
they would
to
take me
prison.
back and forth from Marysville to Butler County, Marysville to Butler County.
Wow.
Yeah. By the time I ended up popping out of MCC, which is like you're supposed to be there for like 30 days for classification.
Yeah.
By the time I ended up popping out, I had spent a total of 7 days in admissions, 7
Wow.
days in prison, and now I'm in general population.
Damn. That's pretty good though.
No,
I'd rather-
I don't think it was good.
I don't know. Like CRC.
I don't know. I don't think I was prepared for that. Like,
Oh, okay.
Normally that classification shit sucks.
That's the worst part of prison for me.
yeah, because you got to get up. You have to go to the chow hall. You have
Yeah.
to do all those things. But when I had got back from court that day, the CO was waiting to give me my bed assignment in admissions. And it was like 5 o'clock. I still don't have a bed assignment. I'm like, what's happening? He's like, oh, you popped out. You're in general pop. So now I got to go to my bed. It's after hours. So now I look like the feds.
Yeah.
Because if you know anything about jail, if you're doing bed moves after 4 p.m.,
Something. Yeah.
something suspicious about
Yep.
it. So now that's my first look, is looking like a fed walking
Oh
Welcome-
my
welcome to the jungle.
God.
in. Yes. Good times.
Holy shit. Okay. So now you're ready to settle down and do your time.
No.
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 No, I wasn't. I'm still not ready. So I still had to go back to court in Butler County.
Yeah.
I get there. They want to give me 6 years consecutive to the 6 I'm already doing.
So 12 total.
12 years flat. This judge I had was like senile. She didn't know what the hell was going on. So she ended up running my time concurrent.
Okay.
And after she hit the gavel, the prosecutor
Nice.
was like, this is not what we agreed to. And my lawyer's like, oh, well, it's
Too
done.
late.
Like this.
Sorry.
See ya. We're
Yeah.
out of here, you know? So I get to prison. I'm like, okay, how am I going to get out of here? I'm ready to get high. How am I going to get out of here? When can I judicial? Like, I got to get out of here. So I'm writing letters to the judge, like, probably 2 months
day
into my
one?
6 year, like 2 months maybe into my 6 year stay. I've changed. I found God. I'm ready to go.
I'm good now.
I'm going to be a good mom. I'm going to be a productive member
Pentecostal.
of society. Yes, you know, like I have a good upbringing. Like I'm going to be good. She denied it in like 2 days. Like,
What's
no.
the
course.
minimum you have to do on a 6 year bit to be able to judicial?
Well, I had my crime is considered violent. So
Yeah.
6 years.
Because it was aggravated.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's no chance you're
No.
judying out.
No.
Man.
Well, they tell you that, but it's like a fucking unicorn. Nobody
Yeah.
really sees a judicial. Like they say that.
Oh,
Like,
I know. Yeah,
it's
I
an
know how it
option.
works.
You know,
Yeah.
like you can.
Not
but-
on not on an aggravated.
I feel like that's
crime.
definitely a
on a
spin
sheriff.
move.
Like,
Yeah, on a shit.
why'd you
Exactly.
guys tell me
on
that
a cop.
dream? I'm never coming. I'm coming home at my end date.
You're
you know?
doing all
Yeah.
6.
But not in my mind. I've plotted every day of how I was. Gonna
And
get out of there.
you think you're unique, right? Like my words will really get 'em.
Yeah, like I'm really good with
Wait
words.
till they get this
and
letter.
She's gonna believe me.
Yeah,
for
she's
sure.
gonna buy
Like,
it.
She don't know me. Like, she'll believe me. She never believed
Nah,
me.
she probably laughed
Never.
at it.
It was like a solid. I ain't even gonna lie. Solid 2 years into my 6 years before I was like, you know what? I
You
probably
settled
don't want to get
in.
high no more.
Yeah.
And it was because I'd spent 2 years without seeing my daughter. I didn't get to see her for 2 years when I was
Oh.
in Marysville. My mom didn't drive. She's still actively using. My family's like bouncing my daughter back and forth, taking care of her. I'm very blessed for that. They was taking care of her. My mom kept her the whole time, but there was times that she couldn't.
Yeah.
She would like overdose, and my daughter would have to hide the needles and call the cops. And so my
Oh
daughter
my
would end up.
So
placed-
she's seeing all this shit too.
Yeah, she never did not see it.
Wow.
Yes. So it was hard to get her up there. So I got to see her 2 years into my prison sentence.
Okay.
And when she came into the visiting hall, my daughter, by this time, she's
She's
like
grown.
6 maybe or something. She climbs into my lap and she's like touching my face. And she's like, Mom, you're so pretty. Like, I never knew you was this pretty. And I was like, like, okay, like,
Thanks.
you've never seen me like
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
literally, you've never really
Right,
seen me like
right.
this, And my mom and my grandma had came that day. And my grandma was telling me, my grandpa is like a pivotal part of my life. So my grandma was telling me that the day they went home from court, that my grandpa, like, he had accepted that he was going to die before I came home.
Oh.
He was not going to get to see me. And my grandma was telling me that story, like, hey, Jen, Grandpa's not probably going to get to see you. He's not going to make it until you get home. And I remember going back to my rack that night and just, it wasn't even like for my daughter. Like, it was just, hey, God, universe, whatever the fuck is out there, if you let me see my grandpa one more time, I'll never get high again.
Oh.
It was this commitment that I made. And I the next day I enrolled in college. Like, I did everything I could do in prison to better myself from that very second, that visit. Like, it just changed everything. Of course, I still got into, like, some bullshit.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I took advantage of every program that I could. Like, anything that I could do to better myself when I came home, I took advantage of it. But it was a solid 2 years before I was like, I don't really want to get high no more.
Huh. What's prison like at a woman's prison? Is it like, is it fighting? Is it like...
Over girlfriends. That's
And that-
about it.
and that's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's about it.
And like, I think women have like a bigger rate of going to prison and turning gay, right? Like than
oh yeah,
men.
yeah, straight at the gate.
Yeah.
Gay for the stay.
Gay for the
straight at
stay.
gate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you find yourself a girlfriend in there?
Straight at the gate.
A couple.
Couple.
Yeah, a couple.
And what's a prison relationship look like?
They're fucking terrible.
It's
It's
weird. It's gotta be weird,
terrible.
right?
It's terrible. So you live in different cottages, like units or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so if they find out that's your girlfriend, she got to go to another unit, and you can bet your ass she's fucking somebody in the other unit.
Yeah.
For sure, that's gonna happen. So they didn't last very long because once you got caught in the relationship, they got to move your boo away from you.
Yeah.
So now you got to move on, and sometimes people would have like out of cottage girlfriends and in cottage girlfriends, and you navigate.
That sounds like a lot to keep up with.
It was a nightmare.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare.
Well, I mean, it's the only thing to like stimulate you, really. Like,
It's the only kind of like
yeah, some sort of something to
love that you can get,
like
essentially.
something to grab onto to make you feel good.
Yeah, and now we're in jail and everybody has found God and we're good people, so we're gonna be good together.
Weird,
like,
yeah.
We're gonna go home and have great lives, and
Now,
that's,
have you ever messed like with a girl prior to going to prison?
yes.
Okay, so how is that like?
I knew I was pretty much gay as a child, like
Mm.
as like 13, 14. I really liked girls, but I also knew that was like in my
Big
family.
no-no.
In my
I was
family,
gay.
like gay is
Big
the worst.
no, yeah.
I was
Gay's
gonna
the
ask if
worst.
you were bi or if you were gay.
No, I would consider myself as gay, but like I have had sex with guys in my
Yeah.
life. But it was more so like for show. Like I didn't really want to do that. And then being molested my whole life, like it just was
Really
not things that I
hated
wanted
men
to
for
do.
that, yeah.
But I didn't want to let my family down either. So
Man.
I just sucked it up, and and then I would just like sneak and have sex with my friends.
Yeah.
We'd have sleepovers, because that's not suspicious.
Right.
So.
And can you hook up in prison though? Isn't it hard to do? Like, cause there's somebody always around. Like,
It's hard, but it's not. There's like 2 COs for like every 400 girls. So.
okay, but what about other inmates? Like, do you just have to like?
Well, you have them
do
like
stuff?
6'5" for you,
Okay.
but they also tell on you. So,
Man.
it's like terrible. It's like the quickest 5 seconds of your life, and you think it's like great.
And you think it's like, yeah, it's
And it's a dirty shower. You can't touch the walls. Like half
Yeah.
the time, there's tampons floating down the drain. Like there's zero romance about that.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Zero.
Have a hot date in the shower.
Yeah, it doesn't sound very hot to me.
No.
It's not doing it for me right now.
No.
Catch something for the shower. Yeah, it's definitely
Yeah.
not Orange is the New Black. You know?
Yeah, you got the girls coming back from visits, pooping in the shower because they didn't got drugs on their visits. So
Man.
there's nothing like romantic about
Nothing. Yeah,
shower
nothing.
sex.
Yeah, no wine and dine whatsoever.
No.
Was it
no.
always in the shower?
I mean, some people would have sex on the toilet, but that was like
Oh my
below
God, no
that was below
thanks.
my standard. Like,
But I'm thinking like
the tampon shower was like better than
two COs per 400 girls. There's got to be. Was it like an open dorm?
Oh yeah.
So, but I'm
like
thinking,
each side was
though-
like 200 bunk beds.
And
Jeez.
there had to have been an opportunity for like to use a bunk bed to
Oh yeah. Girls would like put sheets up
Make
and
their
stuff.
tents.
I just was never like.
I mean,
that,
not even
that
make
brave
a tent,
or
but
pressed.
like 2 COs.
Yeah.
I
And some
mean-
of the COs was like cool, and some of
I
the
mean,
COs was having
And
sex
what are
with
we,
inmates.
we're talking
so
about finger.
Yeah.
We're talking about fingers here, right? For the most part,
Yeah.
right? So like,
It's pretty doable anywhere.
I feel like
They would have
yeah.
sex on the yard. Like, it didn't really matter.
Yeah, anywhere.
Yeah, anyway. I just had standards.
Yeah, the tampon shower.
I have standards
That's
with
my
the tampons.
It's my love den.
Oh my god.
So you do the whole bit.
Yeah,
You did the whole 6-piece.
every bit of it.
What year did you get out?
2019.
2019. So fairly recent, 6 years, right?
Mhm.
And then what's like, because a lot of shit changes in 6 years. Doesn't seem like a long time in the grand scheme of things, but in prison
Yeah.
time, like you get out, things are different, right?
Everything was different.
Yeah.
Everything. The cell phones, technology, like every single thing was different. Nothing was the same. When I got out, they sent me to this halfway house in downtown Cincinnati, which I had never been to, like just briefly, like passing through. and it's like in the worst neighborhood of Cincinnati, Queen
Yeah.
City Avenue.
Yep.
It's all halfway houses are always in the worst fucking neighborhoods.
Yep, I'm
Yeah.
on Queen City Avenue. There's a BP at the bottom of my halfway house, and like my first day there, I go, of course, to get some Newports because I got to smoke a cigarette. I've had one in 6 years. I need one for sure now, you know. I go to get some, and there's dope boys all over. Like, hey, we got this, you know. Like, it was so. I felt like they threw me in a Shark Tank.
Oh, for
when
sure.
I got out of prison, like it was. I felt like I was just set up, like for.
And
failure.
how much time do you have to do at the halfway house?
6 months.
6 months, like mandatory?
Well, they let me come home for they tricked me. They let me come home 3 months in and put an ankle monitor on me, and then said I wasn't where I was supposed to be, which I was living with my grandparents. So
Yeah.
I was definitely where I was supposed to be. So they ripped me back away from my daughter. I had to go back to the halfway house and do the rest of the 3 month, the whole 6 months.
Okay.
Drugs in the halfway house, I assume.
Oh yeah, all
like
over.
tons of drugs.
Overdosing.
Suboxone.
They were shooting heroin.
Oh, heroin.
Yeah, one of the girls overdosed in my bathroom one night. We had to get our RA. Another girl stole. Oh my God. So I got my first job out of prison, and I saved my whole first paycheck because I was going to buy my daughter school clothes that year. I
Yeah.
hadn't been able to do shit for her in her whole life.
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Like not even since before. You know, I wouldn't count
Well,
stealing
that's not
things.
true. You got some shit for her from
I stole
when
it.
you stole houses.
Yeah,
I stole
the shit
from
for her.
houses.
Never
yeah.
a legitimate, like,
I had
gift.
never been able to work and do something for her.
Yeah.
You know, so I took my
With your
entire
own
first
money, yeah.
paycheck and I got the cash at the halfway house because I don't fucking know no better. You know, and we're all downstairs playing games, whatever. It was like, I don't know, like $400. Nothing major, but it was major
Sure.
to
A
me.
hit,
Yeah.
yeah.
$400. So I come back up to my room. The $400 is gone out of my purse.
man.
Completely gone.
Oh, bro, I would.
Yeah, I'd be-
freak.
I go to my RA's
out.
desk. I'm still really good friends with her, actually. I go to her desk and I was like, "Hey, listen, just go on ahead and put gas in the van and take me back to prison." 'Cause
Oh,
I'm
you
about
was ready.
I'm working everybody in this
somebody's,
room.
Everybody's getting
their
interrogated.
fucking
Everybody.
ass beat.
I said, I'm locking this door until I get my money. I'm taking teeth. Like, I will literally collect their teeth until they give me my daughter's money. This is for her school stuff. Like,
Oh.
I was ready to go back to prison.
It's
I didn't
extra
Bro,
personal.
she's big and scary.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't mess
Like,
with her, man.
That's the last thing I would fucking
Yeah.
want, dude.
I did not even care. Like, it is what it is. Just gas the prison bus back up.
Let's go.
Take me back. Like, I don't care. I'm
Either
going
take
back.
me back or I'm whooping some
Run me my
fucking
money.
ass.
Is there
Run me
is there
my money.
cameras in this place?
No, not in our bedrooms, because this is where it's like in our like.
And then how many
sleeping
woman
area.
beds are like? What's the rooms? 3, 4?
No, there was like 6 of us in there.
Yeah, okay.
6 of us, but
It
I had
literally
narrowed
could've
it
been
down.
anybody.
I already knew. I had narrowed
knew
it
who it
down to
was.
who it was, because you could tell who was
It was
on drugs
obvious.
and who wasn't.
Yeah.
I had already narrowed it down. So I went back to my room and I was like, "Listen, I swear on my life, I will take a tooth for every dollar I'm missing out of each one of your mouths if you
Man.
don't give me my fucking money. That's for my daughter." So my RA comes in and she's like, "Jen, listen, just go outside and smoke a cigarette. We're not even allowed to smoke cigarettes at this time." She's like, "Just go outside, smoke a cigarette." I go outside. I'm out there for like 10 minutes. I call my mom. I get my daughter on the phone. I'm like, "Baby, listen, I love you, but I have to go back to prison. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I have to. It's just what it is." She's like, "Mom, don't. Like, you know, I've had clothes the whole time I'm sorry."
No.
She's like, "I've
No,
had
you're
clothes the whole
fine.
time that you're there. Like, don't go back to prison." And I'm like, "Baby, it's the principle. Like, I've never been able to do something for you. Like, I'm going back, okay? I love you. It's going to be like 6 months. Like, I'll be home. you
I'll be
know?
back.
Like,
Yeah.
It's cool. Like, I got this." I go back in and the money's just all over my bed. Just threw all over my bed. Every single,
That RA,
Really?
That RA took care of it.
every single, I had the whole $400 was
Wow.
there. Yeah.
And-
They moved my room that night. I didn't get to stay
I
in
bet.
that
Did
room
they ever
anymore.
tell you who did it?
No.
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 I
Hell no, they
understand
didn't.
why you're still like you talked to that RA today.
Yeah.
Because that's like a big deal.
She saved my life. Like,
Yeah, that's a big deal.
And I get that principle thing, man. It's like the first thing, and then it's so personal when somebody comes and just like snatches it from you. Might as well like just walked up and hit your daughter, you know? Like,
yeah, and part of me was like, "Bitch, you deserve this karma. Like, this is what you've been doing." to
Well, and when
people.
you
Like,
know you can fuck someone up.
yeah.
Like for her.
yeah, it's,
Yeah.
it's,
Like
it's
she
happening.
knows she can fuck someone up. So like someone's going down.
Either
Like,
way, they was gonna have their ass beat and keep my money,
Or yeah,
I'm gonna
like,
take it back from you, and you're still gonna get your ass whooped, or you could just give it to me. Those are the only
those,
options.
Those are
that's
the
the only
options.
3 options
Only 3
we got.
options. That's it. I'll go ahead and pack my stuff and send me back to prison. I don't really care. I didn't really hate it there. I
Yeah.
just missed my daughter. Prison wasn't terrible, but
But 6 months, fuck. That's,
yeah, fuck.
that's
I
a
could do it.
season.
That's a nap.
Yeah,
Take a
that's a
nap for
season.
6
That's
months,
a
yeah.
softball
Yeah,
season,
really.
and it's
Yeah,
over.
that's
Yeah,
basketball, football season. You
Yep.
know, I'm out.
man,
Wow.
got the money back. That's good though.
Yeah, I got the money
Yeah.
back. Yes.
And then what? Yeah, what happens after the halfway house?
I had paroled to my grandparents' house.
Okay.
My grandpa was alive.
Still alive.
He was
All right.
alive when
Thanks,
I got
God.
home. He was kicking and alive, and my
Oh,
grandparents let
that's
me come
great.
home. Yeah, it was.
So you
great.
stayed with grandparents.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the only place I was allowed to parole to.
Now, are these the like the super like by
Yep.
the book
Mhm.
Protestants?
Yeah.
But at that
Or
point, you're probably like,
Pentecostal.
oh, obviously there's a reason for this, or like this is a better way of life than what I was living.
Yeah,
so
and they had knew, like, because I had lived with them prior to prison and was in active addiction, so they
Yeah.
already knew, you know, like.
They've seen the worst of it.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
knew. They had prepared themselves. They hid the insulin needles. They hid my grandpa's pain medication before I came home. Like, they knew. They
Yeah.
prepared themselves for
Good
what
for
could
them.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. They picked their purses up. They, they did the things, but they let me come home to her, to their house. And my mom lived directly around the corner with my child still. And there was not enough room for my daughter at my grandma's house. My grandparents are in their 80s. So I would go and stay at my mom's house all the time. And my mom, she's on a fixed income. And she's living in a not great house. It's equivalent to a trap house with some
Okay.
furniture. And my daughter's there. And I can't take her to my grandma's house. So I'm like, fuck it, I have to live here. I have to live here too. Like, if my child has to live here,
Yeah.
I'm going to live here
With
too.
your mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I moved back in with my mom. She's still full blown in addiction.
how
still.
was that?
Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. My mom was like my best friend in active addiction, and she missed her best friend. So when I moved back in, she's like, I got my best friend back. So it was like
Did
every
she
day.
try to like
every
bait
day.
you?
Really?
Every day. I got some Suboxone, or, you're anxious. I got some Xanaxes. Or-
God.
You didn't bite at all.
Damn.
Never. Not ever. Not one single time. I just couldn't do it. I could not do
Wow.
it. Not one time. Not even like on the bad days. Like, never. She would yell to the top of the steps, hey sis, I got, whatever the case was that she had that day. And no, Mom, I'm cool. I'm good. And it was like she got bitter eventually.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That I
I
wasn't
Like, you think you're
giving
better
in.
than me kind of thing?
Yeah.
And you never at one time were like ever
Mm-mm.
crossed your thought like maybe?
No, because in prison I had played all these things through. Like, well, if this happens, I'm going to get high. If this happens, like after the 2 years when I decided I wanted to be clean, I still had all these reservations of things that like,
Sure.
if this happens, I'm relapsing.
Yeah,
If this
yeah.
happens, I'm
Yeah.
relapsing. If this happens, everything that I had laid on my rack and said,
Can I
if
ask you
this
a
happens,
question?
They've all happened.
If Grandpa died, was that a reservation?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
My grandpa died 3 weeks ago.
No shit from today?
Hmm.
Dang.
Damn.
My best friend, she died February 24th. The one that
Wow.
did all of these. Everything that I had said on those racks, like, if this happens, I'm getting high.
Yeah.
My daughter was
But you've got some time now.
assaulted in our house, in my bed. I didn't relapse. Like, everything that I said was going to happen. Like, if this happens, I've got to get high.
That's yeah.
Like,
That's the only way to deal with it.
none of it has happened.
And you didn't
None of it
That's-
has happened.
that's
I joke all the time about like this life we're living now must be hell, right? This must be hell, and then when we pass over, like that's when things like that's heaven. That's when things are normal, and like your story, holy shit! I mean, just one after another after another. I mean, just nonstop since you were a kid,
It's been wild.
like.
It's been a wild ride.
And then to stay sober through the things you just talked about. I mean, oh my
Yeah.
God.
It was like a solid, the last 6 months of my life has been solid hell. In September, I almost died. I was in the hospital for 14 days. I have Crohn's disease. And the medicine I was taking, like, basically shut my heart down.
That's your what, thyroid?
Crohn's is in your intestines.
Stomach,
Mhm.
okay.
The fuck?
Yeah, the medicine I was taking, it, like, killed my heart and my immune system.
Wow.
So I almost died. I came home from that. Wait, let me back up. I'm sorry. Let me back up for one
There's
second.
more.
I turned 40 in July. That was like ending for me. Like
Yeah,
40
yeah.
is fucking, I'm about to turn into dust. for
Yeah.
sure. The week after that, I got married. Then I went on my honeymoon. When I got back from my honeymoon,
You don't
is
look
when I
40
was 6.
at all, by the way. Like, not even close to
Thank
40.
you.
I would go 32.
Solid 41 in a couple months.
84?
Yeah. Yep, 84.
God
Yeah.
damn.
So I came back from my honeymoon on September the 8th, actually. Here
And
we go with
that's-
September the 8th
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
September to the 9th, I went to the hospital because I was like, not breathe, like it was hurting to breathe or something. It was nothing major, but I couldn't breathe good. And they immediately admitted me. I had no immune system. I had no white blood cells, no red blood
Wow.
cells. Like, nobody was allowed in my room. My heart wasn't working. Like, I literally almost died. My wife's like, we're going to be on Dateline. Like, they're going to think I tried to kill you on our honeymoon. Like,
Yeah.
you know, so I made it through that. I had to come home on a feeding tube. Got back to work, got back to lifing, then my best friend dies in February. So then, like, I had to do her whole funeral. Her children were devastated, and that's all she had was me and her kids. So
Yeah.
I wrote her eulogy. I raised the money for her funeral.
So you basically did everything.
Everything, because she just has these babies. They're all children, like my daughter's age. I've raised these kids. So that happened. I didn't have time to like stop and process it. And then I got T-boned in my car with my daughter. And then my grandpa died. And then it was like, it just never stopped. And
it's like a fucked up country song.
and never did I think like, I probably should go get high today. Like, this is probably, like everything that it happened in like back to back.
Yeah.
And I wasn't like, heroin sounds good today.
You know what would really
Heroin's going to
cure
solve
my ails
this.
right now? Is
Yeah,
some
like heroin will definitely solve this. Like, it's just been a
No, because
fucking
you know
ride.
it'll just make it worse, and it'll just, you'll just end up back in prison or dead. Or
And all this shit
whatever.
is still happen, even if you do heroin. It doesn't take anything away.
Exactly,
You know,
yeah.
it's all still occurred.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, sweeping it under the rug and waiting to trip on later, right?
Yeah. Just waiting for what comes next.
Yeah. The best friend that died, is that the one that used to do the
Mhm.
burglar? So you guys were cool even after she narked you out?
Yeah.
Brother.
So when I got to prison, 2 months into my prison stay, there's this thing, and I don't know if it's in the men's program, it's in prison, it's called Kairos.
Yeah, oh yeah, I know
And
Kairos.
so girls wait like for years to get into Kairos in prison, mainly because they bring you good food from outside.
The cookies? You guys
Yeah,
ever eat the
the
cookies?
food is fire.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So I put my name on the list because I want some good food too. I got picked 2 months into my 6-year stay.
Huh.
And I'm learning about all these things about God that I'm battling with because I don't really fuck with that dude at this point. Like, we're not cool. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I didn't
especially
even
after
you.
like what
I
you
fucking
saw.
bet.
Yeah,
of-
like I don't even
yeah,
fuck with you.
You
So,
kidding me?
okay, but you guys are feeding me like Popeyes. Like,
Yeah.
I'm coming every day. you
real
know?
food.
So them cookies, they give you this,
Ah.
at the end of it, they give you this dozen of cookies, and it's called forgiveness cookies. At this time, my co-defendant, she's in the prison with me. We hadn't spoke at all. Like, I wouldn't speak to her because I was so mad at her.
Yeah.
And I just did like this real like self-digging. Like, I went out on the yard that day. I gave her my 12 cookies. And I said, hey, listen, I'm not going to tell you that if the roles had been reversed, I would have did the same. But I understand. Like,
Oh man.
you're a mom and you was scared. Like, so it is what it is. And we never beefed after that. Like,
That is absolutely insane.
not ever. It's like I don't know. I as a person could never do that. But she also had 4 kids that she was raising by herself.
Yeah.
You know? I knew my mom was at home. She was going to take care of my kid.
Yeah.
So if I caught a charge, oh well, mom, you got her.
Right.
Okay, cool, boom. But it wasn't like that for her. So I guess I could just see. My mind was clear enough at
Yeah.
that time to see the whole picture.
It may sound stupid, but like these cookies were like a highly sought after thing.
They definitely were.
Yeah.
Like that was all people would talk about in the Pickaway for months. Like, oh, it's coming up on Kairos week.
Yes.
Uh,
And they would sell them.
sell them,
You
yeah.
could get items out of the box for them damn cookies.
Yeah, them cookies were,
Exclusive.
and they were.
Exclusive shampoos for them cookies.
Yeah, them cookies were where it was at.
Wow.
Damn, good for you. And like, are you doing like recovery stuff in the prison? Like, or is this all just self-actualization? Like,
I was like towards the end. So when you got time, like 6 years, you can't do any programs because you got too much time.
too much time, yeah.
Yeah, so you just gotta like, figure it out. So I worked like maintenance and, just different things to keep myself busy. But it was like something was just always in my favor. I kept getting into these programs that I should not have been able to get into.
Yeah.
It was like after I decided I didn't want to get high, it was like everything just opened up for me. I got to go to college. I did do this program. It was called like Hearts or something, which helped me a lot. It wasn't like a NA thing. It was just like you dig into yourself. You figure out like
Sure.
where the trauma came from and,
Yeah.
and I did this trauma therapy.
Oh,
I had to do this like chair talk with my dad.
like with the empty chair.
Yep, the
Yeah.
empty chair with a picture of my dad because, that's where a lot of my trauma, like using trauma came from. So, yeah, I did a lot of programming in there.
You need to like speak
Write a book.
places.
I started writing a book.
Good.
Did you?
I did. I
Good.
did. That's my dream. I love talk. Like, I want to work with kids. That's something I want to do. But I have violent crime, so it like kind of
Yeah, puts a
you gotta
damper
find
on
your way
where you
through
can
there.
go. Yeah.
I like to talk and I like to try to help people. Because I truly like I don't ever glorify the shit that I've been through, but I
Have
also
you been
like
back
people
to
to see.
Marysville to speak?
Yep.
Yeah.
Marysville and DCI. I've been to both.
Wow.
First time I went to Marysville, I almost had a panic attack. It was
I
4
bet.
o'clock. It was time to go, like leave. I was
Yeah.
leaving, and it was 4 o'clock's count, and I was like freaking out. And it was one of my COs that had did my whole 6 years with me in the visiting hall, and he was like, "Jen, you don't have to go.
Like, you're not
it's
going to be late for
time.
count anymore,
Yeah,
girl.
it's not count time." Like I was freaking out. Like I got to get to my rack. I got to get to my rack, and
Wow.
he was like, "Jen, no, like no, you don't have to do that anymore. This isn't that." It was really hard to go back in the first time, but I loved it. Like, I think it gives hope to people in the prison, like, to see you out here and,
Yeah.
like, actually succeed.
And just, I think women in general, because, like, you've had a pretty
Yeah,
crap
exactly.
slot in life from day one, right?
Even like the crimes aside, women in general, you're giving hope to. I agree.
Yeah.
100%. Like you need to speak to some people because I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but like this is one of the fucking most like awe-inspiring stories I've ever heard in my life. Like seriously, I just can't fathom going through what you went through and then coming out on the other side sober. It would have been really easy to say fuck it.
Yeah.
Like just fuck it.
Yeah.
Life of crime.
Because it was so easy before.
And I know you had
Yeah.
a daughter, and like, but when you're using and like, that stuff does not matter. And I don't have any kids, so I can't speak to that. But I know a lot of people who do, and like, it just doesn't matter. It doesn't.
Right.
And
Well, even so, like, I did have a daughter, but, like, by the time I made it home, she was almost 13 years old.
Yeah.
She didn't know who the hell I was. And the person that she did know prior to that, I was always in the bathroom, like, locked in the bathroom.
Yep.
She was outside crying for me to come out. Like, she didn't know who I was. So then I come home, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm your mom, and you got to listen to me." And she's like, "Fuck, I do." Like, who? No, I'm not going to do that. So it still could have been easy, I guess, you know? 'Cause
Yeah.
I still had somebody to take care of her.
And it's like
yeah.
easy to justify. Like the world's done you wrong since
Yeah,
birth.
you
So
got
like,
excuses for days.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
It would have been so easy to just say, "Fuck it." Just fuck it.
So what do you do today?
Well, it's another thing that's happening in the 6 months. Currently, right now,
Yeah.
I help people that are homeless and active addiction, severe mental illnesses. I help them get connected to like resources and stuff. But
Okay.
my job is currently getting laid off, so
Okay.
I don't know what I'm going to do next. I don't have any idea what I'm going to do next.
I think it'll work out for you though.
I
think
agree.
things do.
I agree.
I think like that's your gift. It's like you put a little effort in and things fall in your lap.
Mm-hmm.
And deservedly so.
Yeah, but you got to put that effort in.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, you definitely gotta do the
action. Yeah, definitely.
And like
Sounds like you always have.
That's
That's
what
the
my
thing.
wife, she was like, "Jen, you know, since the day you came home, like, you came out swinging. Like,
Yeah.
you've never stopped swinging. Like, never.
That's the way to be.
You never have let up from, like, nothing has ever deterred you."
yeah.
And she's
like,
watched me fall. Like, we've been together since literally the day I got to the halfway house. So she's literally seen everything that
Yeah.
has happened. And, you know, she tells me all the time I'm inspiration. It's funny when people say that because you don't feel like
you
that.
don't feel like because it's
Yeah.
normal to you.
No.
Like
yeah,
right.
to me,
like,
I'm like, I'm a fucking failure. Like,
Yeah,
look
yeah.
at my life, bro. Like, how am I inspiring anybody? Look at this shit show. Like,
yeah.
I used to get puddle water and shoot dope. Like,
Yeah,
what's
absolutely.
fucking inspiring about that? Like, you know? But people don't believe that when I say that, and they look at me today like, "There's no way, Jen." Like, absolutely.
And that, yeah,
Absolutely.
I know addicts, right? And I
Yeah.
wouldn't look at you and be like, oh, that's one of me over there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I remember one time after my dad had died, I got his house. I owned his house because I was just his only child. And I fucked that up, of course, because I loved drugs. And I got the electric shut off, and I lit candles, and I had convinced my daughter that we was going to have, like, a camp out.
Yeah.
She thought it was the greatest thing ever. We just had no fucking electric. You
Yeah.
know? And
Mom couldn't pay the bill.
yeah. And it's just easier for me to, like, take my spoon and my candle to the bathroom now. 'Cause now I don't look
Yeah.
suspicious carrying
Yeah.
this
Now you got
candle
the
and-
fire.
yeah, I don't look sus now because I can just do this. Like, it's just crazy, like, looking back at all the things.
Yeah. That's
I'm so glad we rescheduled and you came out.
I
Seriously.
definitely wanted to. So I wanted to come last weekend. So in the midst of all this shit that's happening, I've been in the same house since I came home.
yeah.
My now wife, she moved here she is from by West Virginia.
Okay.
So she uprooted her whole life to move here into this trap house with me and my mom and my daughter. And we got this house and we started from nothing. And we've lived in that house since we both came home from prison. And last month, my landlord came and got the rent on the 1st. And like 3 days later, she's like, hey, we're selling the house. You got 30 days to move.
Oh.
We both have felonies.
Yeah.
I have violent felonies.
Yeah.
It's a bitch.
And I have 30 days to find somewhere to live.
So
Yeah.
Okay, so boom.
hard to find a place to live.
Yeah, so last weekend I was literally like trying to find somewhere to put my items, and I'm like, I don't want to miss this chance. Like I was almost ready to let my shit be on the curb so I could come and be
She
here.
really was.
Like-
She's like, I'll still come.
Like,
And I was like, no, if you have a family emergency,
care of that
please
shit,
take care of
please.
that. We'll reschedule it for
Yeah.
another
and
weekend.
it would have worked out somehow.
I'm glad you did, because like had you done that last week, I would not have
Yeah,
gotten to
'cause
sit
he
here
wouldn't have
and
been here
listen to
last
this.
week,
And, yeah, it's been a good one for me.
I was so excited to come do it. Like I said, I was ready to just be like, oh well, put my
Yeah,
shit on
well,
the curb. I'll be
I
up
lost
here doing
shit
this
for less,
podcast
right?
in Columbus.
So, did it work out?
God almighty.
Yeah, it did. Actually, we ended up somewhere much better.
Not
and
weird,
We're
right?
still
You
moving
found someone
in.
who would rent to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
How did that go? Just out of curiosity. Because I talk about that a lot, how, like, felonies held me back from, like, jobs, places to stay.
Yeah, I had to humble myself because people come to me for help now. Like I'm like the person
Yep.
that everybody comes to. So like
Yep.
when my life's fucked up now, I'm
Yeah.
like people are gonna think I'm on drugs if I
Yeah.
ask for help. Like fuck. You
Yep,
know, like
I know that
and I'm
feeling.
getting kicked out of my house. They're definitely gonna think I relapsed. So I just was real humble and got on Facebook like, hey, I need a private landlord, and I have a really good team of friends. And,
Yeah.
they got together and
Better reputation,
Yep.
I'm sure.
And I found an amazing place that is much more beautiful than where we were. Also with long-term opportunity to possibly buy it.
Okay.
So it's like
Oh,
it
nice.
worked out the way it was
Could be a
supposed to.
homeowner someday
yeah.
soon.
Yeah, it worked out the way it was supposed
Which
to.
is shit. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll speak for the millennials, but holy shit, trying to find a home in like a good school district is really difficult nowadays.
Trying to find a home after you was strung out on drugs and in prison and have a shit credit score. And,
Yeah, yeah.
Even having that
Well,
opportunity
the
to be
thing-
able to accomplish that is
Yeah.
like fucking huge.
But
you
like
know?
the thing with the home, in your case, you're renting to buy.
Mm-hmm.
But like the cool thing about having the felonies is I can buy a house if I have the money.
Yeah.
Problem is, like this neighborhood, so I went to Grandview High School across the street.
Mm-hmm.
And if I tried to buy a house in Grandview, you're looking at $500,000
Oh,
plus,
easy.
period.
Yeah.
And it's like, how the fuck? Like,
Yeah. How am
I
supposed
have
to
a
get
good
this?
job. It's like, how do you expect me to? Plus, I was strung out for so many years,
Right.
so like to save the money for a down payment,
It's like impossible.
you
Yeah.
know, it's like
Sometimes I
so-
want to go to some people's doors and just knock. Like, what do you do for your job?
Like, how do
Like,
you
what is your
make
career?
this
How in the
work? How do you do
hell
this?
What the fuck do you do?
this?
Like, how do you afford this? Like,
And like I live next door to like a Nepali immigrant family. I'm like, what are you guys doing? How do you do this?
right? Like,
Yeah.
how do you have so much money?
I was
bro?
lucky to get in here and like, yeah, how do you do it?
Single people in mansions. Like, what do you do? For
There's a
living?
neighborhood
Like, what
over
the hell?
here called Upper Arlington.
Oh,
You
yeah.
drive through that neighborhood and fucking, you want to talk about asking people how in the hell,
I think that's the way we
They
came.
do
Fucking
it.
kids and yeah.
like, how, I mean, we're talking $750,000 plus, probably million. Honestly, probably $1 million plus.
I think that's like around about the way we came. And I was looking at my wife's like, well, I'm glad that you can look at these houses while I'm following directions. I'm like, oh, well, just in the passenger seat. Them houses was
insane.
beautiful, though.
It's
like,
insane.
gorgeous.
It's
Like,
insane.
it's almost too much house, though.
Yeah, like what do you
What do
need
you
with
even
all
need that
that?
for, other than to be like, fucking look at me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For it.
Yeah,
Arlington.
truly, seriously.
I just want like a simple, safe house, nice home. No
Everybody's
bed
got
bugs,
their own
you know,
room.
just clean.
Yeah.
I don't need all that.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
I
Jen.
mean-
Bravo.
I'm almost speechless. I mean, yeah, you're awe-inspiring, and I encourage you to tell your story any chance you get, because holy shit, if you can do it.
I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to tell this side of it. Like,
Yeah.
Like I've always just got to tell the good.
Just the
you
good.
know?
Right,
yeah.
yeah.
And I have never been as transparent as I have about the things that happened when I grew up because, my family's gonna be like, oh well, whatever, it's a mental illness. Like, okay, well, so is like being a drug addict.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I didn't get a pass.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
I didn't get a pass.
Where's my fucking pass?
Right, like, so, it's just,
There was some girl that was messaging me on Instagram, some random chick, whatever, and she was. I talked her into going to rehab, and she said she was going, and I was like, listen to me, one disease, one solution, that's it. I was like, you're not a hopeless dope fiend, you're not a fucking dopeless hope fiend, you're not a
Right.
fucking whatever, all these different labels that people make up. You're not unique because you shot drugs.
yeah, nobody's special.
No, you're not special. You are just an alcoholic.
Yeah.
You're the same as the dude who went home after work every day and crushed a 24-pack.
Yeah.
It is the same disease with the same results and one solution. And, like, you keep it simple, right?
Yeah.
And that's what's helped me along the way. And, calling myself alcoholic, even though I shot dope, it's like, whatever. But I mean, that's the truth. Like, truth is, I have alcoholism. I do everything alcoholically. I gamble alcoholically. I like to make money alcoholically. I like to have sex alcoholically. I like to do it all alcoholically.
Yeah.
It's all the same,
Yeah.
and there's one solution to that problem. But God, your story with the bumps in the road. Can't account for that.
There was a lot of bumps in the road. A lot of bumps in the road, but a lot of great people in the road, When I was thinking about it coming up here, like, it's going to be different to say it this time. Like, the key people from my story are not here
Oh,
anymore.
yeah, no longer with us.
They're not here anymore, and it was just, like, when my grandpa was passing, I got to be there every day with him. Every single day I would go to the nursing home, and, like, I just wanted one day with him. He got 6 years
Yeah.
to see me clean and sober. And,
Yeah.
I remember one day, this is probably stupid to most people that are not from this life, but my grandma had gave me their code to their garage.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, what, Grandma, are you sure?
You sure about
She's
that?
like, yeah. And I was like, okay. And then, like, a couple months later, this was like maybe a year or two ago, my grandpa was like, hey, can you go upstairs and get my pain meds? And I was like, your pain meds? He
Grandpa,
was like,
it's me.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, okay. And I went and got him. When I got downstairs, he was like crying. And I was like, Papa, what's wrong? And he was like, I don't want to tempt you. And I was like, Grandpa, you don't have to worry about that. But it was just like these huge things that his insulin needles was no longer hidden. It was like,
Yeah.
they didn't pick their purses up when it came to family functions
100%.
anymore. Like, because it's like, I knew I won at that point.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm winning in life. Like, even if I don't feel like it, when I walk into my family's house for like Easter and nobody's purse is moved, like, fuck, I won. Like,
That's a miracle
it's a
right
big-
there.
it's a
That's
big
the
deal.
miracle.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not picking up their shit no more. Like, they're letting me come over to their houses. I know their addresses. Like, this is like huge, It's just like a full circle thing for me.
Yeah, so, and it's like celebrate the small victories like that. Because, yeah, it may not seem big to somebody else, but, like, to addicts like us, like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you always have to celebrate them. That's what keeps me going is them little tiny wins.
the little ones.
Them little tiny ones. 'Cause-
Keep fighting.
Yeah, girl.
There's more
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I get the feeling that you don't really settle. Like, you swing for the fences and keep doing that, and it'll pay off. I promise.
Thanks.
So,
I'm not a quitter.
Nah.
yeah.
Nah.
I'm not a good quitter. Clearly, I'm not a good quitter. Even when the signs are there. This is a good not quit.
That's,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
I was going to say that's going to help you along the way.
Yeah.
So, thank you for coming on
Thank
and
you,
sharing your
Jade.
story. It was
Thank you guys for having me.
incredible.
That was
I
crazy.
appreciate it.
Proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I have 12 years in December. December 28th, I'll have 12 years
years.
sober. Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah. Man, 12 years.
Keep going.
I'm blown away.
Keeps getting better. Promise.
Yeah, it gets greater later. I heard that.
Oh, that's good.
Back
I've
in
never
the
heard
day.
that one
And
before.
I was like,
Greater
yeah,
later.
I
right.
haven't either.
Yeah, that's
They're
pretty
full of
good though.
shit.
I like can
Gets
dig it.
greater later. Like, this is shit. What can
Yeah.
be greater? Like, getting high was great. Like, there's
Right.
nothing greater than that. There's nothing coming later. Like, but no, it's definitely greater later.
It's definitely greater later.
Yeah.
Man.
Even through all the shit, it's still greater. I would choose this shit getting hit in the face every other week over
Over.
chasing dope
anything.
every single
Those,
day
yeah.
of my life. Like, I can handle these
Yeah.
pills a lot different.
Thank
So I
you.
just keep hitting.
Thank you so much for coming out. Seriously.
Thank you guys for having me.
All right.
What's on your neck? Is that ashes?
Yeah. It's, yeah.
Sweet. I didn't know they could do that.
Yep, it's her.